There's a concept in positive psychology that's pretty much changed how a lot of psychologists view everything about people. It's called prospection. And what the idea of prospection is that as human beings, one of the things that makes us fundamentally different from all other species is that we have the ability to think about and imagine our future. Not only that though, whatever you see for your future self, is the thing that drives your current self more than anything else. Whatever you see for your future is the thing driving your views, your identity, your behavior in the present. This is why hope is so powerful. If you have a hopeful, purposeful, exciting future, then what do you think that does for your present? It means you're motivated, you're exciting, you're clear, you're intentional. If you're hopeless towards the future or pessimistic towards the future, what do you think that does to your current self? So your current self is not just a floating entity. It's very heavily impacted by obviously your view of your future and your view of your past. But prospection shows that it's actually your view of your future far more than anything else that drives your behavior. It drives everything. And what's even more amazing is that you can really imagine and shape whatever future you want, and then that dictates what you do in the present. It dictates your energy in the present. It dictates your behavior in the present. The better you get at visualizing, planning for, and creating your future self, the better your life will be in the present, the more intentional you'll be, the more courageous you'll be, the more you can learn, the more you can transform, the more you can have peak experiences. You can have peak experiences if you can see, feel, and create a desired future self, and then watch yourself take small or big steps in that direction. That's how you actually build confidence. So in this video, I'm going to break down 3 science-based and crucial keys to visualizing and becoming your desired future self. The first one is actually to choose and visualize your future self. My question for you is, how much time do you actually spend visualizing where you want to be? If you study the lives of any Olympic athlete or someone who did something great, there was a huge amount of visualization there. Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, Michael Phelps, all sorts of people who actually did things. Again, you study the lives of Olympic athletes. At night, they visualize themselves on the podium receiving their gold medal. They see themselves not only receiving the outcome of what they want, but actually perfectly engaging in the process, engaging in that process. And that's a big aspect of it, is visualizing your future self. The first part of visualization is actually taking the time to choose what you want. I would recommend you have no more than 3 outcomes that you're trying to create at one time. I love the quote from Jim Collins. He said, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. So visualize, just take for a second to think about what are 3 things that you want in your life more than anything else. It could be an amount of money in your bank account. It could be, being in an amazing relationship. It could be living in a certain place. It could be having a beautiful family. Whatever it is, think about where you really want to be. And a core aspect of wanting is that you want it for yourself, not for anyone else. You're not trying to justify. You don't need to defend what you want to anyone else. You get to choose what you want. That's actually a part of becoming what psychologists call self-determined, or having autonomy, having intrinsic motivation, is that you want what you want for yourself. You may want it also for the benefit of other people and to serve other people, but you deeply want it for yourself, not to prove yourself to anyone else, not because anyone else wants it for you. You want it for you. So think about 3 things you really want, the 3 most important things you want. And it could be any time in your future. It could be 3 years into your future, 5 years into your future. I recommend sticking to 3 years as well. What would you like 3 years into the future from now, and what are the 3 most important outcomes? And after you've actually taken the time to define all that for yourself, actually see yourself there. See yourself finishing that marathon, or losing all that weight, or having that money in that bank account, or having crossed that finish line, or being in that environment or in that circumstance you want. You actually want to take time to visualize it, to see it. And you want to do that on a regular basis. The 2 most powerful times to do that are right before you go to bed and right after you wake up, because that's when your brain is in kind of a slower moving state. And you actually want to prepare yourself for your visualization by not scanning through your phone beforehand, but by actually slowing yourself down, maybe putting your phone on airplane mode, getting yourself into the right environment, writing down your big 3, taking some deep breaths and actually seeing it. But then one of the things you want to do, and this is going to be a theme throughout all of these big 3, is you want to feel it. So you want to actually feel what it would feel like to be there, to feel what it would feel like to achieve that goal, or to cross that milestone, or to be on top of that mountain, whatever it is. See yourself, feel it, feel what it would be like to have that. So take time regularly to visualize your future self. If you're not doing that, then chances are you're not going to become your future self. There's a great amount of research in neuroscience, broken down by a lot of people, that say that the visualization of an event is just as potent and powerful as the event itself. Actually, there's a great amount of research that shows that the anticipation of an event is also more powerful. So if you see something in your mind and if you feel it, it can create a biological response just as potent as a regular event. And so if you're regularly taking the time to see and feel your future self and seeing yourself specifically where you want to be, You want to see specifics, a specific amount of money in that bank account, or a specific experience you're having. You want to see and feel it, and that actually changes your brain. So take time to actually choose your future self and to visualize it regularly. Now that takes me to number 2, which is reward your future self. You want to give yourself a reward at the end of those big 3, or at a milestone along the way. So if you want to, for example, have $1 million, maybe think about how you would reward your future self once you had 100,000. Once you hit some milestone, give yourself an exciting reward. That reward should be motivating. It should be exciting. It shouldn't be a status symbol to prove yourself to other people, but it could be anything you want. Again, you don't have to justify or defend your vision of your future self. You also don't have to justify or defend the rewards you give yourself along the way, but give yourself a reward. I remember recently my financial advisor actually told me to give myself a reward once I hit a certain milestone for an amount of money in my investment account. And so I thought about what would be something that would be really exciting to have, and something that maybe I wouldn't want to give myself because I don't feel I deserve it. There's actually a great quote that says, your unconscious will never allow you to have anything you don't believe you deserve. That's actually a crazy idea. You won't have something if you don't believe you deserve it, if you don't think you're worthy of it. And so as you're thinking about your future self, if you're thinking about the outcomes you want, you also want to give yourself rewards for getting yourself there. And as you reward yourself in powerful ways, your belief about what you deserve will expand. Now, this type of deserving isn't like a sense of entitlement. That's not what we're doing here. It's actually just the sense that you actually can have that thing, and that you are worthy of love. You're worthy, and you can have things you want. And it doesn't make you bad to have those things. So think of rewards for milestones along the way towards your future self. Rewards that would be amazing to you. It could be something small like going and getting a massage, or it could be eventually going on a trip, or remodeling your house, or buying a new car. It could be whatever is exciting to you. It doesn't have to be material. It could be just that you give yourself the full day off, or the week off, or it could be whatever you want. You get to decide the reward. But rewards are very potent and powerful. Now, this isn't carrot and stick motivation. Again, this is intrinsic motivation. What would be exciting for you to have? What would be exciting for you to watch yourself create? So give yourself rewards. Reward your future self. So step 1 is choose and visualize your future self. Step 2 is reward your future self. If you give yourself an exciting reward at certain milestones along the way, that's going to increase your motivation to find more and more resources to achieve your goal. So if your goal is a monetary goal and it's above and beyond what you've ever done before, but there's a really exciting reward and you're really excited about becoming that future self, you're going to find new ways to make money. You're going to find new ways to increase your income level. You're going to find new ways to stop your spending. You will find new and better ways, because necessity is the mother of invention, and you're going to find new ways to create your goal and allocate and find new resources to getting there that you don't currently have. There's a great quote actually that kind of reverses the economic principle that supply creates demand. It's actually the idea that demand creates supply. So if you demand that you have your future self, if you find that demand, if you find that desire, if you find that why, you will find the needed supply or supplies. The supply could be motivational, but it also could be other supplies. It could be other people. It could be support. It could be technology you don't know about. When there's a huge demand towards something, the needed supply will come. And so that's what you want to do, is you want to not only visualize and want your future self and have an exciting reward, but get to the point where you demand it of yourself. And not in a nasty or negative way, but just there's a demand for it. You really want it, and you're going to go out and get it, and then you'll find the needed supply. So the third one is to celebrate any form of evidence towards your future self that you see. Dr. B.J. Fogg, the Stanford psychologist, he also wrote a pivotal book called Tiny Habits. Talks a lot about the importance of celebration. So just like when you visualize your future self, you want to feel the emotion of it, that changes your brain. Well, celebration does the same thing, but it's in retrospect. So anytime you watch yourself do something towards your future self, it could be that you say no to that dessert that you would have normally eaten, or you go to bed on time without staring at your phone. Anytime you do some behavior that's relevant and also evidence that you're moving towards your future self, celebrate that. Celebrate it with energy, celebrate it with emotion, celebrate it in a way that's resonant towards you. You might go, yes, or whatever is resonant to you, whatever, but you want there to be some emotion, because emotion really pulls it down into the subconscious level, and emotion is ultimately what drives behavior. And so you want to celebrate and trigger the emotions of your future self. And so you want to celebrate any small win you get, and you want to measure that and reflect on it and make it powerful. Anytime you see evidence of your future self, celebrate it. And my invitation would be for you to not only visualize your future self and come up with exciting rewards toward your future self, but take bold action, spend time taking action and trying things towards your future self on a daily basis, and then celebrating those things And as you do these three things, you will increasingly become your desired future self. You'll watch yourself taking action. You'll look back and see the evidence of that. Confidence is actually the byproduct of prior performance. And so confidence comes by looking back and seeing yourself and seeing evidence that you're moving forward. And then you celebrate that. Even the smallest wins, celebrate it. And that'll compound you. That'll push you forward. That'll get it more exciting. So give yourself compelling rewards. Visualize it regularly. See it, feel it. And eventually it just becomes your new narrative. Your identity is how you see and define and describe yourself. We're all consistent in our identity, our behavior. As people, we have a need for consistency, not only in how we define ourselves, our identity, but also in what we say and in what we do. And so over time, what I invite you to do is not only visualize your future self, but start tell people about your future self. Because if you're actually going to become that person, you can't hide it forever. And so you might as well start telling people that that's who you want to be, and that starts to be the driver of your identity. You want your identity to drive your behavior towards your future self. You don't want your identity to be so rooted in your past, which is where most people's identity is. Most people's identity is very past or present focused, but if you have your identity be your future self, and you start telling people about your future self, and you start taking action towards your future self and celebrating it, and if you have exciting rewards towards your future self and you're regularly visualizing it, then it just becomes who you are. And you can start orienting your daily life and your behavior and your results towards your future self. And you're no longer ashamed of your future self. You're no longer afraid of your future self. And you start to realize you are worthy of your future self, and you can have whatever you want, and it's your choice. So those are the big three. Those are three crucial science-based aspects towards becoming your future self, and they all hit you on the emotional level. Visualizing your future self, feeling what it would be like to get there, giving yourself potent, exciting rewards along the way, and celebrating any small victory, any small evidence, any small behavior towards your future self. All of these hit you at the emotional level, which is the subconscious level, and also they hit you at the identity level, which then gets to the point where you just begin to identify fully with your future self. You can become your future self. You got to choose it. You got to define it. You got to see it. You got to act towards it. You got to reward it. Be your future self. Give yourself rewards. Give yourself peak experiences. I actually have a really exciting reward I'm going to give myself once I hit a certain future self milestone. And watching myself get that reward is going to be super confidence building, super exciting. I'm super excited to get there. But it's intrinsically motivating. I have no desire to get there to prove myself to anyone else. And I hope the same for you. My name is Benjamin Hardy. If you liked this video, if it was useful, please like the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to the channel. And down below, there's a link. You can get access to a full 30-day Future Self course where I give you all the science and strategies for becoming your desired future self. Have an amazing day.